Yep. Time.
Welcome councillors, members of the public and staff, present in person, joining online and watching online this evening. The time being 6:30 p.m, I declare the ordinary council meeting of 22nd of October 2024 open. Persons in the gallery are advised that under the Local Government Act 1993, a person may not tape record the proceeding of a meeting of a council or committee without the authority of the council or committee. Tape record includes a video camera and an electronic device capable of recording speech. Mobile phones must be turned off so as not to disrupt the meeting. Anyone, including councillors, found using a mobile phone will be asked to leave the meeting immediately and for the duration of the meeting. An audio recording of this meeting will be taken for minute-taking purposes as authorised by the Local Government Act 1993. This meeting is live-streamed on Council's website to allow the community to follow Council debates and decisions without the need to attend meetings in person. Members of the public attending or speaking at a meeting agree to have their image, voice and personal information, including name and address, recorded and publicly broadcast. Strathfield Council does not accept liability for any defamatory remarks or inappropriate comments that are made during the course of a meeting. Any part of the meeting that is held in closed session will not be streamed. Councillors and members of the gallery, please note that the microphone for streaming purposes is sensitive and will record all sounds in the room. The mayoral diary for August 2024, including up to 22 October 2024, and expenses claimed by all councillors has been tabled for your information as per Resolution 147/19. Councillors, in accordance with the mandatory provisions of the Model Code of Conduct, I remind councillors of the obligation that you will faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities, and discretions vested under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of your ability and judgment. Now to the moment of reflection. I would now like to ask everyone who is able to stand for the moment of reflection. We pray that our deliberations today will be objective and decisions are impartial and made for the benefit of the whole community. Recognition of traditional custodians. Let us begin by acknowledging the Wongal people, the traditional custodians of the land on which this meeting is being held. We pay respect to elders past, present and emerging. Thank you. You can all now resume your seats. There are no apologies. And are there any councillors seeking a leave of absence? Okay, can I have a mover? Okay, there are no applications, so we'll move on. As there are no applications for leave, we will move past to attendance by audio-visual link. Councillors, please be advised that Councillor Pensabene has written to the General Manager seeking to join the meeting this evening via audio-visual link and has sought to do so due to significant health reasons. Clause 5.18 within Council's Code of Meeting Practice outlines that councillors may attend and participate in meetings of the Council and committees of the Council by audio-visual link with the approval of the Council or the relevant committee should the councillor be unable to attend in person due to a natural disaster, extenuating or other circumstance or significant health issue. As is required under Council's Code of Meeting Practice, the Council is required to consider this request. I therefore move a motion to approve the attendance of Councillor Pensabene via audio-visual link for this meeting. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Reddy. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to speak for it. I think it's important that elected officials have their ability to speak as they're democratically elected officials, and they get to represent the voters that they won during the election. So for me, it's important to support this motion.
Any other speakers? No, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Passed unanimously. I declare the motion carried. Disclosure of interests. Does any councillor wish to make any disclosure of interest?
Mr. Mayor, yes. For item number 10.12, I have a non-pecuniary, non-significant interest. I'm a non-financial member of the company mentioned. As a Go Van membership, it's called, so I can access the vans, but I can't access the passenger vehicles. As a result, as a non-pecuniary and non-significant interest, I'll remain in the chamber when this item is being discussed.
Thank you, Councillor Nosworthy. Does any other councillor wish to make any disclosure of interest? Councillor Nosworthy, all sorted. No worries. All right. Acknowledgements. Councillor Blackmore.
So CCS 10. I believe I have a pecuniary interest in this item. This item goes to prohibiting real estate agents from having employment if they are a councillor, and from actually basically divesting any real estate income. I do have an interest because this will actually affect my livelihood. So I'll lodge the disclosure and I'll be leaving the chamber during that vote.
Thank you, Councillor Blackmore. Could you clarify, Councillor Blackmore, if it's a pecuniary or non-pecuniary?
Pecuniary.
Yep, and significant or non-significant?
It's significant, yes, pecuniary.
Thank you, Councillor. Acknowledgements. Does anyone have an acknowledgement to make tonight?
Okay, you first.
Councillor Kim.
Dear fellow citizens and honored guests, community members and friends, I am deeply honored to stand before you today as a councillor of Strasbourg Council and the president of the Korean Society of Sydney and New South Wales. Today, I'm very happy and proud of acknowledging Korea Day Festival, which was not just a celebration of our culture, traditions and heritage, but also a day to celebrate the beauty of the multiculturalism in Sydney. Events like these provide a space where different communities can come together, learn from each other, and share in the richness of our diverse cultures. I am proud to see such a large turnout from people of all backgrounds enjoying the festivities, food, and performances. In times of crisis, both here and abroad, events like Korea Day remind us of a strength that comes from unity. Coming together makes our communities more cohesive, resilient, and better equipped to face any challenges. Whether it's through shared cultural support for each other or simply celebrating together, we can continue to build a strong, inclusive, and vibrant society. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who helped make this event possible, our volunteers, performers, sponsors, and of course, each and every one of you who attended, participated, and enjoyed. Thank you for your support and enthusiasm. Together we make our community stronger and brighter. Let us continue to celebrate, support each other, and embrace the spirit of unity that today embodies. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kim. Does anyone have an acknowledgement to make? Councillor Kai.
Yes. In today's council meeting, I'd like to acknowledge, the immediate past councillors, like Nella Ho, Councillor Nella Ho, and Councillor Churangam Haswaran, and Raj Tata. I think in last terms we are working very well, and have a lot of things we work together, and especially Nella Ho, she give me a lot of help. So I'd like to acknowledge their contribution to our council in last term. Just missing them. They are not here in this term. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kai. Any further acknowledgements? Councillor Nosworthy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was invited about 2 weeks ago to the Tamil seniors to speak to them and experience some of their cultural practices. They spoke to me about the importance of their access to our community venues. They hire a council venue for their monthly meeting. And I'd just like to celebrate their contribution in the uniting of their community and the ongoing commitment they have to their culture and their society in our area.
Thank you, Councillor. Any further acknowledgements? No? Final acknowledgement from myself. As Mayor, I would like to acknowledge the current visit and tour of Australia by King Charles III, by the grace of God, King of Australia and his other realms and territories, head of the Commonwealth, and wish him and Queen Camilla the best on their tour of our great nation. Confirmation of minutes. Confirming the minutes from the Ordinary Council meeting on the 8th of October 2024. Can I have a mover? Councillor Sandy Reddy. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Blackmore. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? There being no speakers, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Now to the mayoral minutes. 1 minute from me today is in relation to long-term financial planning in Strathfield Council. I move, 1, that Council recognises the work that has been done to publish Strathfield's comprehensive long-term financial plan, which has sought to mend our previously outdated and unsustainable financial planning. 2, that councillors who have spent the past months engaging with the ideas and concerns of residents and businesses seek to support the community by strengthening Council's long-term financial planning. And 3, that the following is to be presented in a councillor workshop before the end of this calendar year, 2024. Possible alterations to the current special rate variation to reduce or halt the planned increases for residents. Potential opportunities to offset planned borrowings and expected debt, noting the land and property strategy will soon be published. Any other feasible expenditure reducing measures which contribute to the above mentioned objectives, and an outline of where Council can increase revenue opportunities. I move the motion. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Nosworthy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, I'd like to, echo your first point about the hard work of the council staff to develop the long-term financial plan, as well as apply for the special rate variation, as well as send it to the Independent Pricing and Regulatory Tribunal. However, I would like to talk about a little bit what IPART for short considers. The Council's financial needs, the community awareness, as in it's been to community consultation, the exhibition, how long was it exhibited for, what feedback it was received, and the presentation of costs and a productivity strategy going forward for the special rate variation. Your point number 2 speaks to the councillor speaking to members of the community. Unfortunately, it feels like you've ignored the experienced councillors in the room who, over the last term, voted this special rate variation into place. Councillors Kai, Councillor Reddy and Councillor Blackmore all supported, I believe, in the former council term. As a result, I think they also have a reliable indicator, a reliable measure of what our residents feel they need and represented their interest in the former council. For the things you'd like to move in number 3, so possible alterations in the special rate variation, and then at the end you ask for an increase in revenue. Obviously those two things are directly linked, so I'm a little bit confused why we would like to reduce and hold and then find revenue. At the end of the day, my understanding would be that all of our revenue streams come from our residents, so whether or not it comes from rate variation or the fees they pay for various items, at the end of the day, it is coming from our residents through one way or another. Now, your second point, potential opportunities to offset planned borrowing. As you may well know, we already have $7 million worth of borrowing. We have a $9 million deficit in 2022-23, and a $7 million deficit in 23-24. Again, I find it a little bit hard to understand how we're going to solve all of those deficits and that outstanding debt without a responsible financial plan, which we've been presented with. We had 2 speakers tell us over our recent workshops and training sessions that it was a brave move from the former council, and yet we seem to have lost our bravery somewhere along the way. Unfortunately, it's going to cost about $2 million to service that debt. So again, we have a significant number of costs coming up. We have a lot of services we offer. In terms of revenue, looking at this, you could have parks revenue, festivals you could charge more for, parking fees you could charge more for, parking scheme, road opening permits. So the question will remain very openly, very strongly, what areas are you going to find more revenue? And as a result, I don't think I can...
Thank you, Councillor. Do any other councillors wish to speak for or against the motion? I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. For the motion, Councillors Kim, Reddy, Kai and Blackmore and Bellardi. I declare the motion carried. All those against? Councillors Pensabene and Nosworthy. I declare the motion carried. Items by exception. In accordance with Section 13 of Council's Code of Meeting Practice, items can be dealt with by exception and they can be adopted as recommended by a single motion. I note the following items cannot be dealt with by exception. CCS1, Draft Annual Financial Statements for the year ended 30 June 2024. CCS9, 2024 Local Government New South Wales Annual Conference. 13.1, question with notice, audiovisual access. Further, all those with declarations that were made. So CCS 10. And
standing in.
yes, Councillor.
Sorry, these are the ones that are staying in.
These are the ones being removed.
Removed.
Sorry. These are the ones that are being pulled out.
I thought that we had to discuss these ones.
These are the ones we are discussing. Yes. So,
right. Okay.
Yeah. So these are the ones being pulled out of the. Yeah.
Okay.
Further, I would like to also pull out on page 22, 10.5, loading zone in Burlington Road, Homebush, from Councillor Blackmore. Are there any other motions that would like to be pulled out?
Councillor Pensabene has a go through.
Sorry, go through the list. I'll begin with Councillor Pensabene.
Why don't you do one by one?
All right,
Yeah.
I'll go one by one.
Before.
Okay, I'll keep it simple. All right, 10.1. Raise your hand or speak up if you have if you would like to pull out one of these.
Yeah.
10.1. 10.1 to be pulled out. 10.2. Councillor Pensabene, are you also wanting to pull out 10.2?
Correct.
10.3. 10.4. 10.4.
Pennsylvania, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor. 10.5. That's myself. 10.6. 10.7. 10.8. Thank you, councillors.
Councillor Pensabene.
Yes, thank you, councillor. Noted. 10.9. 10.10. 10.11. Councillor, are you putting your hand up? Councillor Pensabene?
No, sorry.
Oh, all good.
Sorry, rubbing my forehead.
All good. So I'll start from 10.10, 10.11, 10.12, 10.13, 10.14.
Yes, pull that out.
Councillor Pensabene, 10.14. 10.15. Yeah, that can't
Yes,
be
pull
that
that
can't
one
be in there
out.
anyway. That's okay. Now to reports to council. GMU1. Oh, sorry, that can't even. That's not even being. Okay, so CCS2, CCS3.
Hang on, you're going to do C?
Sorry, CCS2 will be coming out anyway, I believe.
No, CCS1.
That's CCS1, okay, that's not in there anyway, yeah. Okay, CCS2, CCS3,
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor,
yep. Councillor Pinsabene?
we didn't look at GMU1.
Yes, I did, but would you like that pulled out?
No,
Okay,
I didn't hear you call it,
no
sorry.
worries. CCS4, CCS5, CCS6, CCS7 has to come out, CCS8, CCS9 is out already, I believe. CCS10 is also out, yep. CCS11, Councillor Pinsabene, was that for CCS10?
Correct.
Yep, coming out. CCS11, P1, P2, EO1, EO2,
EO1,
yep,
sorry. We'll pull that one out.
yep. EO2,
No one.
yep. 12.1, 12.2, 12.3, 12.4. All right, thank you, councillors. I move that the items mentioned be dealt with by exception. Can I have a seconder? Councillor
I'll second it.
Reddy, sorry. Councillor Reddy, I'll move it. Councillor Reddy seconds it. I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Carried unanimously. I declare the motion carried. Public forum, there are no applications to speak at tonight's meeting. Sorry. No, I'll keep this one. Yep. Okay, notices of motion. Let's begin. 2.1. Yeah. Councillor Blackmore, you have moved this motion. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Reddy? Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against this motion? Councillor Blackmore.
So I move it as written. It's Strathfield Connector Bus. This has been an ongoing issue in this council, and there was work being done in the past about cost savings and about the fact that this service is not utilised by the public and costs the council quite a substantial amount of money. I have, on many occasions, tried to put things up at council in relation to this bus service. Again, through the election campaign, I heard this topic of this bus drives around empty all the time. How much is it costing the ratepayers? And basically, I think when, Mr. Mayor, we are looking at cost savings of the council. This is a service that is not our proper, within our core business. This is a service that was introduced. It was introduced for a bit of historical information from the other councillors on the promise of the cost being a cost-neutral service by previous people, and was sold to the councillors on that aspect, and the advertising on the bus and the costs have just blown out and it's not something that is our core business, and we should be focusing on that. And I ask councillors that it's got to stop. We need to stop doing things that aren't our main core business, guys.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Nosworthy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My request would be that we don't act on this until we have some more information. So I was hoping to make an amendment to perhaps remove point 1 and replace it with a report on the current usage of the connector bus, and therefore we can make our judgment once we have that data on how often and how much it's used by our residents.
I won't accept that amendment.
Okay. Amendment not accepted, so we will vote first on an amendment. Can you put the amendment, are you happy with the wording you've used for an amendment?
It has disappeared because it wasn't accepted. Oh, perfect, yeah. My apologies. So I believe that the staff...
Amendment, yep.
need a seconder,
Yeah, a seconder for the amendment.
I can second it.
Councillor Kai. Councillor Pensabene, I remind you on the etiquette relating to mobile phones usage in the chamber. Thank you.
My apology.
So we have a seconder. I now put the amendment to a vote. Sorry, would you like to speak on the amendment, Councillor?
Mr. Mayor, I don't believe I have anything more to add to the amendment.
Excellent. I now put the amendment to a vote. All those in favour of the amendment, raise your hand.
I amend.
Amendment.
Councillors for the amendment are Councillors Pensabene, Chai and Nosworthy. Just clearly show your hands, councillors. Yep. And although Councillor Kim, are you for or against the amendment?
Amendment is just to, you want to know more about why do you need the connector bus?
Would you like me to answer that question, Mr. Mayor?
No, not at the time of the vote, no. You have to pick for or against, councillor. So for the motion, just to repeat, I'll just ask you to put your hands up clearly again this time. So the amendment, councillor, is for all councillors just to look at the amendment being put on the screen in front of them relating to Councillor Nosworthy, his amendment to Councillor Blackmore's motion.
Mayor, I think Councillor Pensabene has a question or...
Councillor Pensabene, are you voting or do you have a question?
Yes, no, I'm voting for the motion. For the
Okay.
amendment.
Okay, we'll try that again, councillors. Councillors, I remind you that we're in the process of a vote at the moment. So I now put the amendment to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand.
Councillor Pensabene.
Because they want to know more usage of the cost.
Thank you, Councillor Kim.
It's just a vote.
So just to record that again, we have Councillors Kim, Nosworthy, Pensabene and Kai. Those against, Councillors Bellardi, Blackmore and Reddy. I declare the amendment carried. Now to vote on the motion. This is now the motion.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Councillor?
Mr. Mayor, can I speak on the motion, please?
We've already passed that point, Councillor, sorry. We're now going to vote. Yeah.
Thank you. How many years were...
Yeah, so I now put the, sorry, councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion as amended? Councillor Blackmore.
Yeah. Just again for a bit of history, we have gone through this process of getting the information. I'll probably have a question to ask after this as well. We're going to go for another report, which is going to cost more money and more time. And again, this service is going to be here and it's not our core business and it is costing ratepayers a lot of money. This has been going on for many, many years. This was resoundingly rejected by the public. When we did surveys during the same time as the SRV process, the public wanted this service cut resoundingly. And we have to listen to what the public said. It's been politics for the last council term which has had this bus service staying here, which it should have been gone by now. It's just, it becomes a joke if we just keep kicking this can down the road. It's very, very frustrating.
Councillor Pensavene, you're speaking in favour of the motion, sorry?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I won't be voting for this motion, no, because I was trying to look up on my phone when you saw me the resolution that's been made in council last year to keep this service for a certain area that doesn't have a bus service. And we are now still working with the state government, still working with the bridge company to try and get a bus service to the areas that the connector is helping. The people that they're picking up, and if you think that that bus service is empty in the middle of the day, you should see it in the morning between 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock. It's full of school children and people going to the station. And in the afternoon, it's the same. So this service is really needed around the Homebush West area and down near the Coralie Avenue area as well. So we have a resolution. So I don't know whether we can change that resolution because there hasn't been a rescission. Can someone give me an answer, please?
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion?
I have a question.
Councillor Blackmore.
Through the chair, Mr. General Manager, how much is this service now costing us and per annum?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So currently the service is costing in the order of about $550,000 per annum.
Thank you, Mr. General Manager.
I have another question, sorry, I don't know if, off the floor, I don't know if you have the figures on it. Do we have on hand how many people are using this service? I know it's probably a bit on notice, I should have, I just thought this was a no-brainer.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I would have to take that question on notice. I don't have those figures available at the moment.
Thank you, Mr. General Manager. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Reddy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. During my campaign, there have been residents who came up to me and complaining the same thing. I would echo Councillor Blackmore's words. And we can see empty buses going through. I remember last year when we had some workshop, when we calculated each person getting onto the bus, it was cheaper for us to give them a cab charge rather than running a bus for them. If I couldn't find the old council meeting notes, but it is costing more than a cab charge for the amount of people who are using the bus. So I wouldn't support the motion. I would support Councillor Blackmore's motion.
Thank you, Councillor. And I would like to move an amendment to the motion as put. First, calling for in point 1 of Councillor Nosworthy's amended motion for a briefing on the current usage of the connector bus to be prepared and presented at a workshop, at the next council workshop. Correct. A briefing rather than a report. Yep, sorry. Thank you. And a reduction of the remaining points.
Who can get the cab charge?
Councillors, are there any councillors wishing to speak for or against the amendment?
Question.
We can't ask a question now, Councillor. Do I have a seconder for the amended motion? Councillor Reddy? No councillors wishing to speak for or against the motion. I now put it to a vote. Those for the motion, please present your hands.
It's an amendment.
Sorry, for the amendment. Thank you, Councillor. I note Councillor Nosworthy, Councillor Kim, Councillor Reddy, Councillor Kai, and Councillor Bellardi in favour of the amendment. Those against the amendment?
Yeah, and Pensabene.
And Pensabene.
I did vote.
Thank you, Councillor.
Yeah.
And for those against, Councillor Blackmore. All right, the motion is now amended. Now those in favour of the motion, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillors Pensabene, Bellardi, Reddy, Kai and Nosworthy. Those against? Councillor Blackmore and Councillor Kim, you've not voted. Councillor Kim, please present your hand clearly if you're voting against the motion.
I mean, this is a connector first, right?
Still on that one. I'll take your non-vote as a vote against the motion. I declare the motion to be carried.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, but she's noted that she voted for the motion.
Sorry, her hand was down when, thank you for that correction. Her hand was down at the time of the vote, I believe.
Okay.
Thank you, Councillor. Okay, moving on to the next notice of motion, which is 10.2. Councillor Blackmore, you have moved the motion. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Reddy. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Blackmore.
Okay, this one is basically just about a position that I think council needs to take. We have seen a lot of other councils with the introduction of the food organics waste bin service, who have cut back their red bin service. That was a disaster in many other local councils, and there was concerns about this happening in other councils in New South Wales. I would like council to make a commitment that when we do introduce the food organics waste bin, which has been legislated, that we will not be getting rid of the weekly red bin service.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Reddy.
I would like to support this motion because having a reassurance doesn't hurt anyone, and it's just a reassurance, and it makes our residents more confident, and they build more trust in the council that we are looking after them and we are working for them.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other councillors? Councillor Kai.
In our council, we never talk about these issues. This issue is going to be, may decided whether to have the organic waste bin, in 2030. That's a long time to go. So I think, this is a political, propaganda, by this one. Shouldn't bring the...
Sorry, point of order, Councillor Chai. Take your seat.
Councillor Blackmore, a point of order. Can you please be seated? What is the point of order?
I'm not finished yet.
Sorry, one moment, Councillor. If you could just be seated according to the code of meeting practice. Be seated while Councillor Blackmore brings up...
Councillor Chai, you refer to another...
Sorry, Councillor, could you describe what the point of order...
Point of order is Councillor Chai referred
Sorry, the point of order is relating to what in the code of meeting practice? What point of
Basically,
order?
the
What
point of order
you
is
made?
how I have been addressed as this one,
Okay.
rather than being addressed as councillor.
Councillor noted.
I'll ask councillor to apologise.
Councillor noted, it's not a point of order, but I will bring up the councillor to speak through the chair in the future. Sorry, continue.
Through the mayor, the chair, as we know, during the election, Councillor Barrymore have the flyer out, intentionally try to make it looks like, that was a possibility that the council was intending, to reduce the revenue service. But actually, this one, we never talk about these matters. So I think, the election is finished. We should focus on our, council matters, not those propaganda matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kai. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Pensabene?
Yes, I do,
Councillor Pensabene?
Yes, look, I know for a fact that the Inner West Council only do a fortnightly pickup of the red bin, and I've heard very, very positive reports back because it makes people recycle and use the green bin rather than their red bin. Their red bin is halved and they don't need it to be picked up once a week. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to reduce waste into our waste fill areas. So if we don't reduce the red bin in the future, then I'm not sure whether we are or we're not, but the whole idea is to reduce waste. So, you know, it's a contradiction to say, we'll still pick your red bin up every week, but and we'll have to pick your green bin up every week. So it's just a contradiction to a service that they're trying to stop the fills, the waste fills.
Thank you, councillor. Would anyone else like to speak for or against the motion, councillors? No?
I have a question.
Yeah, question?
Just through the chair. If any of the councillors here want to not support this or want to remove the red bin, they can vote against this motion, is that correct?
If that's how you're interpreting the motion, councillor, now would the mover like to articulate a right of reply, there being no further statements? Okay, those, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillors Blackmore, Kim, Reddy and Bellardi. Those against? Councillors Pensabene, Nosworthy. Councillor, please present your hand clearly on a vote. And Kai. Thank you, councillors. I declare the motion carried. Okay. Now to motion 10.4, Plaques, Memorials and Statue Policy and Review. Councillor Blackmore. Is there a seconder for the motion? Councillor Reddy. Councillor Blackmore.
I move the motion as written. Just basically a quick part of it, there seems to be a lot of ad hoc plaques and things like that erected everywhere all over the whole council area. If you go into our parks, you'll see stuff everywhere. Who knows whose name on it, what it's for, whatever. In particular, I'll point out, and I did discuss this with the mayor, actually discuss it, like the cafe at Stratford Park, for example, has 3 plaques, you know, one for the sod turning for the slab, one for the opening of the door, and one for the opening of the cafe, or something along those lines. I just think it's a waste of money. It's just visual litter across the council area, and there needs to be some guidelines and rules about this.
Thank you, councillor. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Nosworthy? We'll come to you, councillor. Councillor Nosworthy?
Mr Mayor, am I able to ask a question of Councillor Blackmore through you?
Councillor?
Yeah, through the chair. Councillor Blackmore, I was wondering if you'd be open to setting up standards for future plaques rather than also reviewing current plaques in light of the investment both of those activities would take. I feel like we could save on both fronts if we left what was there and then reviewed what we're doing going forward to reduce the number that are installed, if that's amenable to yourself.
Is that an amendment, councillor, or a question?
A question for Mr. Councillor Blackmore. My apologies.
Okay, we'll take that as having spoken for or against the motion. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Pensabene?
Yes, I just want to know, and I don't need an answer, but is Councillor Blackmore happy that the plaques with his name on it stay, or are there certain ones that he needs to remove?
We'll take that as having spoken for or against the motion, unless Councillor Blackmore would like a right of reply. Would you like a right of reply? This is for the motion prior to it being put.
That's it, yes.
Thank you, councillor.
Yeah, look, I am happy if there is anything with any plaque with my name on it which is excessive and it doesn't go within the guidelines that this council and this new team of councillors put forward. I'm happy for any of those plaques to be removed if it doesn't suit the guidelines.
Thank you, councillor. I now put the motion. I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillors Blackmore, Bellardi, Reddy and Kai. Those against? And Councillor Kim. Councillor Kim, sorry, are you voting against or in favour?
Against, you can vote later.
Okay. Those against? Councillor Pensabene and Nosworthy. I declare the motion carried.
But what was Councillor Kim's vote?
Councillor Kim put her hand up as prior to the.
I have a question, but you can ask, you don't allow me to question.
Councillor, we're not.
Same thing as he says, because at the present, you are.
Councillor, when we ask for anyone to speak for or against the motion, you're entitled to have your 3 minutes of time to speak. And Councillor, just confirming you voted in favour of the motion or against?
Yeah, it's not important, so I say, it's pro.
In favour, yeah.
Pro, all right?
Yeah. Thank you, Councillor. I declare the motion carried. To motion 10.5, Councillor Blackmore, you have moved this motion.
By exception, 10.5?
No, it's not by exception.
Yeah,
No.
the mayor took it for some reason.
Councillor Blackmore, you have moved this motion. Can I have a seconder? I would like to second the motion. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? No? I would like to move an amendment to the motion to also include a second point below what is in the draft motion, that the Traffic Committee also examine the location of the motorbike vehicle zone in on Burlington Road, Homebush, with the view to relocating the loading zone to the Crescent, the motorbike zone to the Crescent, so as not to use so many car parking spaces. So an almost replica of the first part of the motion, but changing the loading zone references to motorbike parking places. Councillor Blackmore, do you accept the amendment?
Amendment.
Thank you, Councillor Blackmore. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion as it's now been accepted by Councillor Blackmore? No, I put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Carried unanimously. Now 2.10.8, report on possible geographic names board application. Councillor Blackmore, having moved this motion, is there a seconder? Can I have a seconder for this motion? I second the motion. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? No, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillors Blackmore, Reddy, Kai, Bellardi, Kim and Nosworthy. All those against? Councillor Pensabene. I declare the motion carried. 10.14, a report on Marlene Crescent and Davidson Street, Greenacre. Councillor Kai, you have moved this motion. Do I have a seconder? I second the motion. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor, we'll start with Councillor Pensabene.
Yes, through the chair to Councillor Chai. What is the main reason, Councillor, to change the postcode for Marlene Crescent?
Thank you. Yep.
Through the chair, that responding to Councillor Pensabene's question, when I in the campaign period, when I talking to the people in there, a couple of people approached me that they really want to feel that they are belong to the Bankstown or somewhere. That's only about 200 residentials in there, very little. So if Strathfield Council can bring them to, the sort of the postcode in the Strathfield area, they will feel more close to Strathfield. Thank you.
Councillors, does anyone wish to speak?
Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Nosworthy? No? Councillor Pensabene, if you'd like to make another comment.
Yes, I am, thank you. Through the chair to the General Manager, how is it possible to change a postcode, General Manager? Michael, Mr. Memo?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I'm not completely across the whole process, but I do know that we would have to go out for community consultation and make application to the Geographical Names Board, and then wait their determination as to whether they would approve the application for a change. So similar to the process that you would go through for a change in the name of suburb. So it is quite a lengthy process as far as I understand. I believe this council did it previously for the Belfield area, which is now known as South Strathfield.
Yes, and I'd just like to say that Canterbury Bankstown Council has been after that little patch of Strathfield for so long, and if we want to give up those residents to Bankstown, then that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be giving them an absolute ticket to take that area away from Strathfield and all those residences there who pay rates.
Thank you, Councillor
So
Pensabene.
be careful what you wish for.
Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Blackmore.
I will be voting against this motion. I believe there is a lot more things that can be done in this pocket based on the location of it. It is in a central location to some major highways. It is adjacent to some industrial land. I think there are other opportunities to look at, and I feel I don't know, but that area to me, and it's an isolated pocket, it is next to an industrial area. The state government is looking for opportunities for industrial area, and I would hate to have a suburb or a postcode or a name change to Strathfield, and then we have a potential industrial area in that suburb. So I'll be voting against this.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillor Chai and Councillor Reddy. All those against? Councillor Bellardi, Councillor Pensabene, Councillor Blackmore, Councillor Nosworthy and Councillor Kim. I declare the motion lost. 10.15, the rescission motion. The 215-24P6 draft proposal, Strathfield Medium Density Housing Strategy. Councillors Blackmore, Bellardi and Reddy signed the rescission. Councillor Blackmore, if you'd like to speak. If there's a mover or seconder, I'm happy to, yep. Councillor Blackmore moves the motion, Councillor Bellardi seconds it. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Nosworthy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My concern is over the effect this would have in relation to the state government legislation coming through. It feels as if we might lose some control over our own destiny if we rescind this motion, this resolution. And therefore, I'll be voting against it, as I'd hate to lose that kind of control over our own land and kind of breach the legislation from the state government.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Pensabene.
Yes, I echo the thoughts of Councillor Nosworthy. The government can come in at any time and just tell us what we need to do. And I'd hate to think that we have missed out on the opportunity of making a minimum lot size of 600 instead of 400. So I think we would be losing 6 to 12 months if we change this now. So I think we should go with the motion that we put in August, that Councillor Chai, Councillor Reddy voted for. So I'm hoping that they stick to their guns and vote
Thank you, Councillor.
against it.
Councillors, does anyone wish?
Network.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Blackmore?
So, did you hear me then, because I lost network?
Sorry, I think we lost you for a few moments. I'm assuming, are you finished, Councillor, or would you like more time?
Where did you get up to, Councillor?
I think just the last 10 seconds or so.
Oh, I'm just hoping that Councillor Chai and
Yeah,
Councillor
we heard this
Reddy
part, Councillor.
stick to their guns.
Thank you. Councillor Blackmore?
Yeah, did move it, but I didn't get to speak. I just want to confirm just a question quickly, and then I have something to say. The alternate motion that's been proposed, I do have additional points to that.
Councillor, through the chair to the General Manager?
Yes.
The General Manager?
Just to confirm that we're just voting on the rescission now, and then we'll vote on the alternate afterwards.
Yeah. Through you, Mr Mayor, that's correct. So right now you're dealing with the rescission motion. If the rescission motion is accepted by councillors, then you would consider the alternate motion and any other amendments that the council might make to that motion. If the rescission motion is lost at this point, then you wouldn't deal with the alternate motion, you would move on to the next item on the paper.
Thank you, General Manager. Back to you, Councillor Blackmore.
Look, I wasn't at the council meeting when this got put up at the end of last term, and I would have voted against it, but I did know that there was other councillors who were voting for it as well at the time. This sort of change, our minimum lot size now is 1,120 square metres, which means for a subdivision it'll be 560 square metres per dwelling. The proposed changes, and to correct Councillor Pensabini, are to reduce that to 560 square metres, meaning that there will be a lot of duplexes and properties like this across the whole of Strathfield Council area. It's a blanket approach, it's the wrong approach, the lot size is too small, it's going to be a bad planning outcome, and it will destroy what Strathfield is and what Strathfield's popular for. Imagine you've got a house, we've got houses in Strathfield selling for $16.6 million, and then imagine you've got a set of duplexes right next to you, or a manor house, or something like this. Strathfield Council has a history of fighting the state government, and we should do that in this instance, and we should not go in with the lowest common denominator and the lowest thing, which is well below what we should be accepting. We should go in harder, we should try and fight it, and then try to negotiate something with the state government if they come back and they don't accept what we put forward. I'll be voting against this. It literally is going to destroy what our council looks like if we pass this.
Thank you, Councillor.
I'll vote against it.
Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Nosworthy?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Question through you to the General Manager. If we vote for the rescission motion, does that mean we have to withdraw our application to the Department of Housing?
Thank you, Councillor.
Through you, Mr Mayor, and if I don't get this correct, I'll ask the Director to step in and correct me. So the rescission motion, if the rescission motion gets up, the alternate motion that's on the paper is asking for the current plan to come back to a workshop at Council. That in itself doesn't mean that we would be withdrawing it from the gateway determination, okay? What it does do though is it would stop the work that is currently underway to complete the review and update of the DCP that is running concurrently with the medium density housing strategy, with the view to have that as a complementary document to support the implementation of the strategy.
Thank you, Mr General Manager. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Kim?
The other day we had workshops, and the man, Dylan, he asked us about what is unique Strathfield? And I said, it's mansions and historical houses, it's nice, educational Strathfield. Now, if we do this one, Strathfield, they're losing our unique Strathfield. That's what I feel it. So I'm against this one.
Thank you, Councillor. Now, I'll put the rescission motion to a vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillors Bellardi, Blackmore, Reddy, Kai and Kim. All those against? Councillors Pensabene and Nosworthy. I declare the rescission motion carried. And now to the alternate motion. Let's just get it up. Okay, so, yep, is there a mover for the alternate motion? Councillor Blackmore. I second the motion. Councillor Blackmore, having moved the motion, would you like to speak to it?
Yeah, and I've got just an addition there. So basically the addition, the first part is that the councillor workshop be held to discuss alternate solutions. We do have a new term of councillors, and I think it is important that we maintain the oasis in the west that Strathfield is known for. Point 2, I'll add, so point 1. Point 2, that any planning proposal that has been lodged be withdrawn and an alternate plan be prepared after feedback from the councillor workshop. And point 3, that the new plan be prepared to meet any deadline the New South Wales Planning has given to council.
Councillor? So you're making an amendment to your own motion,
Yeah.
Councillor? So that becomes the motion, so...
Can I address the meeting?
yes, the General Manager will address the meeting.
Through you, Mr Mayor, point 3 of that alternate motion won't be achievable by the council staff with the timeframes that are available to us.
Mr. Question, Mr. General Manager, the proposed and discussions are about a change in minimum lot size. Can I get an explanation why that can't be achieved in time?
We'll ask the question through the chair to a member of the staff. Yes, Ms. Hartley?
Through the chair, if number 2 is progressed, if we withdraw the planning proposal and we prepare an alternative to meet number 3, we would have to draft a new planning proposal. It would have to go to the Strathfield Local Planning Panel before it comes to council. It all takes quite a lot of time. We don't have enough council meetings before February to meet that deadline. So if the state government has asked for an indication by February of what the council wants its minimum lot size to be, we have only got 2 meetings before the end of the year, and I don't believe that we would have time to do that.
Thank you. Councillor, we've had a number...
Questions, Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Councillor.
Another question. Through the chair to the director, if we go on exhibition with a 560 minimum lot size, which will chop up the whole of Strathfield, what happens if we then come back and say that we want to adjust it to 750 square metres or 800 square metres or 1,000 square metres or whatever the size is? How does that fare with the planning department when we've already gone in with a very, very low minimum lot size?
I'll defer the question to the Director. Thank you, Ms. Harley.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Council under, I think, section 3.34 of the EP&A Act has the capacity to vary or withdraw the planning proposal at any time. We would then need to go to the Department of Planning and put our case forward. They may not change. We could change the planning proposal after public exhibition, is what I'm saying. We could change it and then go in with a higher minimum lot size if council should choose to do that, but we would need to be able to justify that. The Department of Planning may not, as I've said, may not accept that.
Thank you. Councillor Blackmore, I'm going to move that the amended motion be voted upon. So I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillors Bellardi, Blackmore, Kai, Kim and Reddy. All those against? Councillors Pensabene and Nosworthy. I declare the motion carried. We'll now move on to reports. CCS1, draft annual financial statements for the year ended 30 June 2024. Can I have a mover? I move it. I move the motion, and Councillor Reddy seconds the motion. Yes. And now we need to nominate Councillor Kai to sign the draft annual financial statements with myself and various others. Now, councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? Thank you. I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Thank you, Councillor Pensabene. I do see you. So that's carried unanimously. CCS7, New South Wales Public Library Association, nomination of a councillor representative. I move the motion. I move the report to council. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Reddy. Councillors, we have to nominate a councillor to be a representative. I move that Councillor Reddy become a representative on behalf of Strathfield Council to the New South Wales Public Libraries Association. Councillor, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. Does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Clearly, councillors, carried unanimously. CCS9, New South Wales, 2024 Local Government New South Wales Annual Conference. We need to nominate, thank you, councillors. We will first nominate the attendees. I'll move the motion that the report be considered, and Councillor Blackmore seconds it. We must first choose 4 voting delegates for the conference. We must first choose attendees. So the assumption is that the Mayor and Deputy Mayor will attend. Further councillors who would like to attend, if you would like to nominate yourselves. Councillor... Okay, other than councillors, other than the Mayor and Deputy Mayor, it seems like every councillor would like to attend. Mr. General Manager, is that possible? Yep. So,
sorry, I can't attend.
Thank you, Councillor Pensabene. So all but Councillor Pensabene would like to attend. So we note that Councillors Nosworthy, Blackmore, Bellardi, Kai, Reddy and Kim would all like to attend. Now council must select up to 4 voting delegates for the conference as follows. The Mayor, the Deputy Mayor and 2 selected councillors. There already being a Mayor and Deputy Mayor, we must now choose 2 voting councillors to be voting delegates. I nominate Councillor Reddy and Councillor Kim to both be voting delegates at the conference. Do you accept the nomination?
Yes, thank you.
Councillor, do you accept the nomination? Thank you. Does anyone wish to speak for or against this being put? No. I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour of Councillors Kim and Reddy being our additional 2 voting delegates, please raise your hands. Carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Yes. Councillor Blackmore, I remind you that you'll be leaving us for for CCS10. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. Report CCS10. OLG Councillor Conduct and Meeting Practices, new framework submission due 15th of November 2024. I move the report. Is there a seconder? Councillor Nosworthy. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? Yep. I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Could Councillor Blackmore be guided back in? councillor. Now to... Okay, sorry, yeah. Now to EO1 on page 495, Cooks River and Strathfield Golf Club open space proposal. Can I have a mover? Councillor Blackmore, and I'll second the motion that the report be heard. Now, councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Pensabene, I see you.
Yes, so I was the one that pulled this up and it was a mistake,
Yes.
so I'm fine with it.
Oh, okay, understood. Thank you, councillor. So we will still need a vote on it now. So I put the motion to the...
I'm
That's all right.
sorry.
I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Now to EO2. Councillor Pensabene, you also brought this one up. Would you still like...
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, I'd like to talk about this one.
Yep. Can I have a mover? Councillor Blackmore, and I second it. I'll second it. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Pensabene, would you like to speak for or against the motion?
Yes, as much as we love the return and earn, which does a lot of good in our community for recycling, I think where it is now is just not practical. Right in the middle of the town centre with that horrible road with traffic, buses and pedestrian crossings, it's currently in the wrong place. I suggest we look at the move, and I think the council's suggestion of Coronation Parade Car Park near Dan Murphy's would be absolutely excellent, because that's a free area there where a lot of cars can move around. So I'll definitely be supporting this motion.
Thank you, councillor. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Blackmore?
I'll just talk on it quickly and just explain, obviously, what's happening with this one, and commend the mayor as well for chasing this up in the short period that he's been here as mayor as well. This facility, although it does good for the community, is costing in excess of $50,000 to keep maintained and clean, and where council is getting a pittance of a rent. It's costing council a substantial amount of money. It's visually intrusive in our LGA and in our prized town centre. So I believe it is a really good move and good cost saving to our council.
Thank you, councillor. Councillor Nosworthy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to move an amendment to number 4, just in terms of if the facility is moved to Coronation Parade, that is also installed with some recycling for paper and whatnot, and maybe some bins for the red bins, for want of a better description. So landfill bins and non-ball recycling bins to hopefully reduce the waste left in the area of the return and earn facility.
Thank you, councillor. Councillor Blackmore, do you accept the amendment?
No.
Thank you, councillor. So we will vote on the amendment to the motion. Councillor Nosworthy, I'll second Councillor Nosworthy's amendment to include appropriate waste facilities at the location. Now, councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the amendment? No. Councillor Blackmore?
Missed my eyesight there. I thought it was looking at just about this cleaning up in rubbish, red bins and waste, etc., to be provided at Enfield Hall. I have spoken on the other item, but on this amendment I won't be voting for it, because I believe that possibly somebody else should move an amendment to not for, say, move to Coronation Parade car park if the plaza rejects us.
I would like to make, I would like to foreshadow an amendment to the current amendment, which would be that were this to not proceed, were this amendment not to be accepted by the council, that a foreshadowed motion would be that point 4 changes its wording so that council, rather than host a return of facility in the Coronation Parade car park, council considers alternate locations such as the Coronation Parade car park, should the facility at Strathfield Plaza not proceed. But prior to the foreshadowed amendment being considered, we'll vote on the amendment put forward by Councillor Pensabene that I seconded. Any further, would anyone else like to speak? Councillor Pensabene?
I don't think I changed anything, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, sorry, Nosworthy. Sorry, Councillor.
That's okay.
Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the initially amended motion of Councillor Nosworthy's? No. I put that amendment to the vote. All those in favour of Councillor Nosworthy's amendment? Councillors Nosworthy and Pensabene. Those against? All councillors, those against? Thank you, councillors. So councillors Bellardi, Blackmore, Kim, Reddy and Kai. Now to the foreshadowed motion.
That's going to become your amendment.
That's now a new amendment. Now I'm going to speak to this amendment simply. I will move it and ask for a seconder, Councillor Blackmore. Briefly speaking to it, I think that whilst the Coronation Parade location is likely suitable, I think council should maybe be presented with various other options before we commit to the moving of the site to Coronation Parade, were Strathfield Plaza to reject the offer that is being put by council. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against that foreshadowed motion? Councillor Pensabene?
Yes, I don't know whether Strathfield Plaza will accept anything in the plaza for a return and earn. It's a very congested car park, and to fit a return and earn, you'd have to be on the roof. So I don't know whether there's room for that, because they've taken up every space they can for a car space. So I'm not sure whether they would be prepared. I don't even think we should ask them. I think we should look around our area first and find out. If we can't find a suitable spot, maybe they're our last resort. They haven't been very accommodating in anything that Strathfield Council want to do, and I doubt whether they'll do it this time.
Thank you, Councillor.
I won't waste the time.
Thank you, Councillor. Would any other councillors like to speak for or against the foreshadowed motion, which is now a suggested amendment? No, that being the case, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillors, carried unanimously. Very good. So that is the motion as foreshadowed prior to Councillor...
I think there's no seconder for this procedure.
It was seconded by Councillor Blackmore.
Oh, okay.
Now that becomes the motion.
Oh, sorry. Now that is the motion. So, would anyone like to speak on the motion? Councillors? No, that being the case, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Carried unanimously. I declare the motion carried. Very good. Now, on page 570, 13.1, question with notice, audio visual access, Councillor Nosworthy.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. In the minutes from the ordinary council meeting on the 8th of October 2024, states a motion was put forward to allow audiovisual access to the meeting for Councillor Pensabeni. The Strathfield Code of Meeting Practice, section 5.18, requires councillors to act reasonably when considering requests by councillors to attend a meeting by audiovisual link. Councillor Pensabeni's extenuating health circumstances are well known in the Strathfield community this year. In fact, on the 5th September 2024, you yourself, Mr Mayor, as a concerned resident, sent a text to her acknowledging her poor health, offering your prayers and wishing a speedy recovery. At council meeting, 8th of October 2024, you as councillor at the time, with support of Councillor Kim, Reddy and Councillor Kai, voted against this motion for Councillor Pensabeni to join the meeting via audiovisual link. Therefore, I ask you, Mr Mayor, Councillors Kim, Reddy and Councillor Kai, if they can provide a reasonable explanation for voting against the motion on the 8th of October 2024.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, do you wish to reply? No. That being the case, I will make one statement on the matter. I would like to note that Councillor Pensabeni has made public statements on her personal social media profiles and public to the Sydney Morning Herald and of course in tonight's motion. But the comments that were made include that she is considering legal action against Strathfield Council or considering her options at that. So in the interest of not prejudicing any legal action that Councillor Pensabeni might take against